today we have just a few demands from your favorite civic organization or your favorite agitators, depending on where you are. And we have just a little bit more coming right up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn on your Wednesday. It is. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And this is not going to be a heavy stream by any stretch of the imagination, but we are going to get started with, of course, some familiar things. And before we get into our lines for today, I want to thank the loyal patrons, the subscribers, our friends over on Periscope, and also if you are joining us for Twitch from Twitch. And we'll start out with just a couple of thank yous, and we'll be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. Hi, everyone, and it is Wednesday again. I'm sorry I get a little bit, my days get a little bit wonky, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I just want to thank you guys so much for choosing Black Spring with Autumn, because I always say that you guys have choices out there, and I want to thank you for choosing Black Spring. And even if you're not sure if you're coming in, I really appreciate that also. So I just wanted to say hello to my friends in the chat, as well as the friends, of course, over on Periscope, and if you are on Twitch. And as you can see, I have a bit of a graphic here for you, and it says, "How's your Twitch drive?" So I don't know. You might think about that throughout this stream. And what I'm going to do is say hello to everybody in the chat so far. Thank you guys so much on your Wednesday. Thank you for spending this time. I'm not sure if you're on a break or you just have some extra time, some minutes to burn, is what I say. So thank you so much for tuning in. And hello, Definition of Anarchy. Thank you so much for coming in. Old Head Deuce, as well as Rachel Van Ziel. Thank you so much. And I'm going to get into your comment here in just a second. Rachel, I appreciate it. Awesome. Alice, thank you so much for coming in. Angela Reed and Derek C. Williams. Yes, thank you so much, Derek C. Williams, for all that you do. And thank you guys, every single one of you, especially my stripes, and just thank you guys so much for being here. Overall, I can't really emphasize, the importance of you guys just being here. I can't emphasize that enough in these times, and I'll get into that in just a second as well. But Unique View, thank you so much. So we have somebody at work listening from Unique View. Thank you so much. You know what? I really appreciate it. I mean, this is, when I look at this, it almost looks like a car commercial inspired, but I try not to take too much away from it, but I added some extra things. Thank you guys so much, and I want to add some comments here before we get started, because I will tell you what our lines are today. And I'm gonna tell you also, there's some things out there that I have avoided because of the leveling up on the censorship that's happening. So there's some environments that I have avoided on purpose. So yes, and that's why I'm asking, how's your Twitch drive? Because that might be your highway to stay on the Black Spring with Autumn path going forward. So I appreciate it so much. And I have a comment from Rachel Van Ziel. She says, "Well, dang, YouTube sent me a notification. Imagine that." Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's a high five the AI or what, but if you guys could please feed that AI and give that system all the nourishment that it needs to disseminate this stream, or at least yeah, to keep the for a healthier stream. If you could hit that like button or even the unlike button, it's all, I think, a part of their system of channelytics, their metric system, whatever that is. And thank you so much. And I want to say, Derek C. Williams says, "Late to the party, but greetings." Thank you so much. You're in exercise mode. Wow. Well, try not to make it too much of a sleeper for you if you're in exercise mode. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's good to have some um, higher energy ambiance, I guess, in that for that. Okay, and let's see, who else do I have? All right, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys echoing my sentiments on the sharing of the stream or the like. That's that's very supportive if you hit the button. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on really quickly here. All right, so all right, thank you guys so much for taking care with that. All right, so I have just a few things for you. I'm going to get into those right away here. And let's see. I don't want this to go to waste, so I'm going to go ahead and play you something here really quickly. So hang in there. Okay. All right. So as I opened up, we have a few demands for your Wednesday, and those demands are going to come from BLM. And I'm going to try to stay out of the landmines as much as possible. Yeah, try to stay out of the landmines as much as possible. But we're also going to look at the number 16 of the UN Sustainability Goal. You guys have probably heard of it. I'm sure you by now, or maybe not by now. I think sometimes we don't pay attention to some of the things that are coming out. But the rule of law is something that I have heard over the last several months, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. But then we'll get into that. That's going to be another section of this segment. And we'll tell you what that looks like. We'll tell you the components of that, but we're also giving you a few dots, and hopefully we'll connect them by the end of the stream. And also we have a little bit from our favorite AI, our favorite prototype, Sophia. There's some developments going on there, and we'll see how long will it be before her crew, comes to a port near you. So I just want to say one more hello before we get going. All right, so we have looks like we had a healthy chat around here. Really appreciate that from you guys. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and have a look. We're going to have a look really quickly here at I want to give you these 7 demands. And I guess these 7 demands are somehow conveniently they kind of coincide with looks like some of the things that are happening in our system right now. So we'll go ahead and get started with those. Yes. Rachel, you said Sophia. Oh my gosh. Now, okay, I'm going to go into a slight digression, if you will. So now I'm thinking there's what is it? Is it traditional? I don't know this life. I don't know black magic or anything, but is it traditional to say something three times and then something's supposed to happen? What is it? Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I remember that movie. I remember what was the horror movie Candyman? You say his name three times, and and it's curtains for you or somebody. I don't know if you guys have got the if you've got the drop on the pocus on that on how that works. Let me okay. So Angela Reed said like a spell. So yeah, but typically there's something that's very transformative somehow to say something three times or say something similar, like it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a Mozart, whatever it is, whatever it is, it's anticipation all the way up until the until that third until you say it the third time. Who knows what can happen? Hello, touchdown, Sean. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so what we're going to do is let's move over to these demands. All right. So for starters, you guys want to follow along. I'll let you follow along if you want. Actually, I'll put the link in the stream for you. So I want to read these and then I'll drop them. I'll go ahead and drop it in the link for you right now. So we have a BLM with their 7 demands. So there's always a blueprint to what's going on, and it's always, these things don't just manifest out of nowhere. They come from some group of people or some organization or some civic societies is what we're dealing with. The civic societies are literally locking arms with government right now, and so we'll go into that. So what I've done is I've actually dropped that link into the stream for you. So what I'm going to do also is I'm going to share the screen and we'll go through these. And some of these you've already heard because we've had, of course, it looks like we have sponsors and co-sponsors, including, of course, we have the squad. You've got little teeth behind what's going on. You've got the squad, you've got the fifth wheel, and you've got a rep, Jamal Bowman. So you've got, a fifth and a second and another wheel, I guess. All right, so number 1, BLM 7 demands. 1, convict and ban Mr. T from future political office. We are joining Rep. Ilhan Omar, Rep. Ayanna Pressley, Rep. Cori Bush, Rep. Jamal Bowman, and others who are demanding that Mr. T be immediately convicted in the United States Senate. Mr. T must also be banned from holding elected office in the future. Call your members of Congress and demand they support conviction by dialing. Here you go. Well, see, here you have, here once again, you've got an organization complete with an action plan. You've got action projects on the BLM website. So this is what they're calling for, and their supporters or whatever they call themselves. All right, number 2, expel Republican members of Congress who attempted to overturn the E and incite the WS attack. Okay. I don't want to read all of these because, it might be glitch. But it says more than half of Republican representatives and multiple senators stoked Mr. T's conspiracy theories and encouraged the WS to take action to overturn the E. And we are supporting Rep. Cori Bush's resolution to expel them from Congress for their dangerous and traitorous actions. We also support steps to bar them from seeking another office. So this one is actually not new. This portion, Bush's role, we went over that a few days ago. Number 3, launch a full investigation into the ties between WS and the Capitol Police, law enforcement, and the military. All right. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down here, the Capitol was able to be breached and overturned by WS, attempting to disrupt the political process that is fundamental to our democracy. We know that the police departments have seen a safe haven for WS to hide malintent behind a badge because the badge was created for that purpose. We also know off-duty cops and military were among the mob at the Capitol on January 6th. Guilty parties need to be held accountable and fired. We're supporting Rep. Jamal Bowman's coup act. to investigate these connections. So here again, this is more, it seems like more of a reiteration. It seems like just a development. It gets, you're in the trenches of the coup act as well as Bush's resolution. So we went over those two resolutions, those two, whatever they're calling them. We went over those last week at least. So you can see that as well, or you may have it already. But okay, here again, on number 4, they're saying permanently ban Mr. T from all digital media platforms. And then Trump has used his digital media platforms recklessly and irresponsibly to spread lies and disinformation. Now it is clearer than ever that his digital media is also used to incite violence and promote its continuation. He must be stopped from encouraging his mob and further endangering our communities even after inauguration. All right, so number 5. All right, this was, kind of a feature long ago, but we've seen, we got a chance to see a little bit behind the scenes on some of the conversation behind this, the defund the police that met our BLM protesters this summer with assault rifles, tear gas, military grade protective gear, where the same police sat on Wednesday, met with the WS with patience and the benefit of the doubt, going so far as to pose for selfies with rioters. Contrast was jarring, but not for Black people. We have always known who the police truly protect and serve. DC has the most police per capita in the country. More funding is not the solution. Number 6, don't let the coup be used as an excuse to crack down on our movement. In response to the coup, politicians have already introduced a Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2021. We've seen this playbook before. These laws are used to target Black and brown communities for heightened surveillance. Republicans are already busy trying to create an equivalence between the mob on January 6th and our Freedom Summer. Wow, I didn't know that's what they were referring to that as. Okay. We don't need new domestic terror laws, facial recognition, or any other new police power for the state. Our government should protect righteous protest and stay focused on the real issues, rooting out WS. There are enough laws, resources, and intelligence, but they were not used to stop the coup. Our elected officials must uncover why. And for the final act, pass the Breathe Act. The police were born out of slave patrols. We cannot reform an institution built on WS. We need a new radical approach to public safety and community investment. President Biden has already drawn on the Breath Act in his executive actions, calling for racial equity screens in federal programs, investing in environmental justice at historic levels, and engaging with system-impacted communities. The Breath Act paints a vision of a world where Black lives matter through investments in housing, education, health, and environmental justice. All right, so if that's not enough for you to chew on, I provided that in the actual, yikes, I'm sorry, I need to bring this into focus here. So I've actually put that link in the stream for you guys. So if you want to follow that up, you can do so via the link here. All right. So you had 7 demands. Yeah. So 7 demands. And let me just go through a few comments here. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oops. All right. Should change that one. Okay, so let's see. What do I have here? Hello, Killer Whale Channels. Thank you so much for coming in. And Awesome Alice says BLM seems passive aggressive type of people. Thank you so much, Killer Whale. It's nice to see you too. And Rachel says, "Oh dang, Freedom Summer," shaking my head. And Old Head says BLM ignored the little girl. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. And Awesome Alice says, do the 7 follow lineup with executive orders. Well, I think slightly. Some of these demands, they're all okay. We'll get into some specifics that I want to kind of get into But yeah, I think some of this is more or less. It does reflect quite a few of the of some of the executive orders, but it's also, I think this whole UN agenda is just, it's just threaded through all of these these acts, the bills, the orders, you name it. It's all, it's, as they say, it's all up and through there. It's all, it's just, and that's why I say on this channel it seems like Groundhog's Day, because we're reading some of the same things in same, oh, this is found over here too. You just keep finding, you keep stumbling onto the same language, the same concepts, and that's it. All right. So let me read this really quick. Rachel Van Sil says, "A as a mixed puppy, I got demands." All right. Thank you so much, Rachel. And what I want to do is I want to play just a couple of clips before I switch gears. And actually, before I switch gears, I want to do a thank you to our patrons, and I will be right back. And I don't know. Keep the Twitch in mind. We're available. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a bit of a clip so that you can hear this for yourself. You can hear it in context. So, I'm going to play that for you. Thank you guys so much.
Actions grew increasingly more.
Okay, before I get into this, let me come back out here just a second. Before I get into this next clip, just pay attention to the very ending of it. That's all. That's basically all I'm going to play of it, and then we'll go through a couple of. We'll have some other things to follow it up with. All right, and it's we're listening for the rule of law here. So if you're just joining us, that's exactly what I'm on about right now. So thank you so much, and we'll be right back. And by the way, this is actually coming from the impeachment situation right now. And these are comments coming from Representative Ted Lieu. And you'll hear, just be aware what we're looking for here.
Members of Congress and the Senate, to compromising our Justice Department, and then to attacking the Republican vice president. These brave public servants were being pressured by our commander-in-chief to overturn the results. Some of them and their families got death threats. Thankfully, at every turn, our democratic processes prevailed and the rule of law.
Sorry about that. But I just wanted to say that Ted Lieu is the representative that was giving those actual remarks. and he seems to have resurfaced. I haven't seen as much of him since the last impeachment. So it just seems like, is it every February we have an impeachment? Is it a holiday now? Should we put that on the calendar? I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. You know, of course, these are provocative things, and we're going to get into the rule of law from the perspective, from the UN perspective, in just 1 second. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys could please continue to hit the like button if you haven't had a chance to do that. If you haven't had a chance to do that, you will get a chance to do it before the end of this stream. So what I want to do is I want to share with you an actual video that comes from the UN, and it also includes the sustainability. Oops. All right, so there we're it's a little bizarre land right now, but so we're gonna watch a very short video, and then I'll give you some of the background on this whole rule of law and where it comes from. So once again, I hope you guys are doing well out there. And as I said, if you haven't had a chance to hit the like button, that will be very helpful. So we'll continue right now with our video. And thank you guys so much for choosing Black Spring with Autumn on your Wednesday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So there you had your video, and it was entitled From the Office of the Rule of Law. So as I've said before, that I do humbly believe that we are getting further and further away from the Constitution. I think it's being eroded, and you're starting to hear this rule of law that it seems to be in rotation regularly. So what we're going to do is we'll also take a look at this is the sustainability goal number 16 from the UN. And it talks about the rule of law specifically. So I thought, why not give us a little bit of, let's get it directly from them. It's a sustainability goal number 16. And it's entitled, as you see before you, the United Nations and the Rule of Law. Okay, they've entitled this Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. Okay. All right. So according to this, high levels of armed conflict and insecurity have a destructive impact on a country's development, affecting economic growth and often resulting in long-standing grievances, while some regions have fallen into seemingly endless cycles of violence and conflict. Others are enjoying sustained levels of peace, security, and prosperity. By no means the first should be left behind. There's a lot of errors in here, so I'm editing this thing as I go along. But as you can see, the next sentence we have is at the core of the 2030 agenda lies a clear understanding that human rights, peace and security and development are deeply interlinked and mutually reinforcing. Through its entirety, the importance of enhancing access to justice, ensuring safety and security, and promoting human rights for sustainable development are reflecting, while Sustainable Development Goal 16 marks the intersection between sustaining peace and the 2030 agenda. So I'm not sure if you guys were paying attention, which I'm not saying that you were not, but you did see in the graphic there that they list very specifically what their goals are. Disarm was a part of that. Was a part of those graphics. Train police, which we've talked about this before as well. We've talked about basically, we've seen all kinds of bills that have even come out of Congress. That we have a stack of bills I've talked about in the past that actually come from, that have come from the Democrats in terms of police accountability and what they want to do. And here again, it just kind of circles back into many of the components here. So I'm just going to take you back into this document. Hello, let the truth be told. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you for coming in. So yes, we have lots of elements that are part of the rule of law, the temple of justice. So I'm just thinking, if these terms come up, it won't be the first time that you've heard them. At least you will have heard them here, and you know where they come from. These are not American. These are not American. This is not a base. The base of it doesn't come from the American law system or even the Constitution. It does not. So I think that should give people pause. But like I said, they always preview what's coming or what they want to do. So I'm just, I've made quite a few references to these things in the past, but I do know that there's a Police Accountability Act that was brought to the House by Hank. I can't think of his name right now. I'll get to it. It's just Hank Johnson out of Georgia, I believe. Yeah, so he's already proposed a Police Accountability Act that would, in fact, some of his goals in that particular bill match up with quite a bit of this. And just one second, I want to read a few things here. Rachel says they could start by stopping all experiments on humanity and all genocide. The UN is worse than any police force. Yes, I would. I don't know. I'll be honest, they've been deferring to the UN for a long time. In fact, what was it? Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was quoted, I'm going to paraphrase this, in that she actually looked to international law. So that would make absolute total sense that we're getting all these terms and all these concepts that are creeping out here all of a sudden, because they've already told you what they respected. They respected the UN. They respected their rule of law over the Constitution. So to me, it's like, how many times are they going to blow up the Constitution before it's like absolutely not, it's just not there anymore? They did it on impeachment 1. So I'm not sure how successful they're going to be with what they've got, with what they're working on right now. But I'm just trying to give you some of my assertion of where these things come from. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. And the definition says the UN. Yeah. And Derek C. Williams, thank you, Derek C. Williams. He says the UN, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations are all in unison. Their stated goal of crushing Americana, gun confiscation, no private property, even down to owning the individual. Thank you so much for that, Derek C. Williams. Yes, you're right. All of these entities seem to be they've been in lockstep for a while. And the UN was started like roughly around 1945 by FDR. I think he actually, he actually coined the name of the UN. So these things have been, I think, established for a long time. that they're trying to align everyone with these goals. They're trying to align as many societies as they can. I'm just surprised that it's that more people don't recognize it. But instead they try to reduce you to a conspiracy theorist or whatnot. But then even a conspiracy theory is a bit subjective, even for me. That even that is that's colorful. And hang on just one second. And Rachel says, and they can patent an individual. Thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate that. And Old Het Do says the law only exploits the situations they cause. And Derek C. Williams says the UN, its predecessor, the League of Nations. And Leaf Desi says, yep, like GMO people. See, you guys are really sharp. You guys are, what can I say? You guys are always on it in this, in our streams. Thank you so much for that. And Derek C. Williams says, a global body to end world wars when they start them, ... on the low. And Rachel says, exactly, GMO. So yes. So we're seeing, these, we're seeing more of the international references, even with this new press secretary. I think she's been known to quote, she's made international references regularly. But you know what? It's not my goal to convince anyone. I always suggest everyone on here, do your own research and, satisfy yourself. Sometimes I think I have a ton of useless information, but I guess it's kind of like it ends up working out kind of like insurance. I have it. I have it when I need to, access it or make a reference. Or if I need a reference, at least I have something else to draw on. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment. And I'm going to take a quick little break here, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, thanks so much. And I have another comment here. It says, Derek C. Williams says, you may convince Derek Black Spring with Autumn is, quote, on it, end quote. Glad Derek is on her team. Oh, Derek, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for being here. And you've been around for a while. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. And for all your support and everything that you do around here. And Leaf Desi says, Green Greg's on YouTube and talks about China and the Muslims in China, also what they are doing to Tibet. And Rachel has an update for us. She says that Biden declared the whole country is a sanctuary jurisdiction. Came up on my news feed. And Leaf Desi says, I know somebody in my life who has been in China and said that the way that the Muslims are treated, there is a real problem. So I wanted to let as many people know that this is not propaganda. And the game ain't fair, says anybody take note of Bill Gates buying up all the property in this country just before Biden shut down the pipelines. Wow. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And the game says salute to everybody in the room. Thank you for coming in. And I'm actually going to put that link in the stream for you guys. Because I mean, I don't want to go into all of the components of the rule of law, but I'm going to I may go through a few of them and then I'll just put them in the stream for you. Thank you guys so much again for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So actually what you have, let me blow this one up here. Okay, I'm going to change the layout there. All right, so what you have here, to your right, you have the 16 goals of the sustainability. So we'll just go through those and then you guys can take on the rest for yourselves. And so you have your one, significantly reduce all forms of violence and related death rates everywhere. End abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against and torture of children. Promote the rule of law at the national and international levels and ensure equal access to justice for all. By 2030, significantly reduce illicit financial and arms flows, strengthen the recovery and return of stolen assets, and combat all forms of organized crime. Substantially reduce corruption and bribery in all their forms. Develop effective, accountable, and transparent institutions at all levels. Ensure responsive, inclusive, participatory, and representative decision making at all levels. Broaden and strengthen the participation of developing countries in the institution of global governance. There's that word. There's your buzzword. By 2030, provide legal identity for all, including birth registration. And see, that kind of wraps us back into the whole, we talked about Gates and the trust stamp that rolled out last spring, I believe. No, maybe it was more recent than that. Because he's doing these things all in the name of, under the banner of humanity, right? We got to help these people that don't even have, that they can't even afford to provide their own identity documents. So that's there again. The demand is there under the guise of humanity and philanthropy, and you guys know that you know the drip. All right. So the next one we have is ensure public access to information and protect fundamental freedoms in accordance with national legislation and international agreements. Can you see that this is not, unless they remove the Constitution, that's the only way that these things can be, that's the only way we're going to be brought into alignment with these goals. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? So this country has to be run in accordance with national legislation as well as international agreements. So where does that taking the power from you? I would say so. International agreements don't have anything to do with what our quote lawmaking bodies, the people, if we are electing people, but yet we have international agreements. I think that's also that also is code for even more committees that are not selected by we the people. So it's a transfer. It just seems like we're dealing with transfers of power, transferring our national law or our documents, or trading in. We're exchanging what we have. We're replacing everything. We're replacing what we have for what they're saying we have to have for their demands, to meet their demands. So, I mean, I think we've seen examples of that already, but it's early, but I think there's enough writing on the wall, for the lack of a better phrase here. So the next one we have is strengthen relevant national institutions, including through international cooperation for building capacity at all levels, in particular in developing countries, to prevent violence and combat terrorism and crime. And the last one here is promote and enforce non-discriminatory laws and policies for sustainable development. Okay, so you guys, I'm going to put this one in the stream for you. You can go through. I mean, there's more here, but to me, some of this is we're seeing, I think, the disarm, that's a priority. And there's just, they have set so many standards that this country is actually falling in line with already, slowly but surely. But they get what their date is 2030, so I guess they figure they've got that much time to get all of this accomplished. Alrighty, let's see, who do we have here? Right, Derek says that man think the whole world and everything is in his own science lab. And Derek C. Williams says international agreements mean little to no national sovereignty. Yep, right up there. And Rachel says, get your lab made meat. Yes, yikes. Where's the Lockhart perspective? What was the movie? Utopia. Yeah, it's just all of these things are already, you've already got your utopia in your own grocery store. You've got signs of utopia everywhere. You've got the push for people to eat less meat. In fact, Gates even says that, I'm paraphrasing, my interpretation was that he says that healthier, happier people actually eat less meat. Go figure on that one. Go figure. And the definition of anarchy says those international agreements are going to take precedent over our rights. And that's what. And I keep going back to this one particular document. You guys remember the USMCA? That document was loaded with similar languages, like all the social protections and things that they've been pushing through, and all these, like the HR 5, the Equality Act. Just about they had. There was an infringement upon sovereignty even in that document. But I'm just thinking, who reads these things? Like I said, it seems to be that the going number is to go 2,000 pages or above, and nobody's going to touch it. Nobody's going to read it. So they just do whatever they want to do. Or in the words of Pelosi from several years ago, you have to read the bill to find out what's in it. And the global governance is, it seems to be where we are. And Rachel Van Ziel says one world government law. And Leaf Desi says God equipped us with everything we need. Amen to that. And Derek says confirmed mealworms are the new protein. Klaus would have you eat them. Oh my gosh, I've heard that before. Do you guys have a reference on that? Like, where can I find the where do you get the mealworms from? Not to say that I'm going to pick them up or anything, but it's interesting enough. All right, so for my final acts on this stream, we're going to revisit our AI, the ambassador, or the prototype Sophia. And I'm going to tell you a short little story about that one. So what I want to do first is I'll put this link in the stream for you guys. If you guys want to go through the verbiage or the UN agenda, the goal number 16, you can do that. But we're going to go back. I tell you, I have a tendency to do something on AI every week because it seems like there's something that's coming out or there's a development all the time. And we want to I'd like to set up something in which we have an actual, we want to have a humanoid watch or robot watch in which we can actually, if you spot a humanoid in your area, or if you go to your doctor's office, or where'd you spot your humanoid? In a retail store, in healthcare, in a grocery store. I don't know. So just we'll create something there. I really appreciate you guys so much for being here. And if you haven't, hit that like button for the dissemination of this stream and the support of this stream. It would be very helpful if you could do that for us. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yes, we are going to go over to some new developments on AI. Once again, I hope you guys are doing well out there on your Wednesday. You know, it's really hard to believe that it's Wednesday. I don't know why I'm struggling with that so much. Does anybody else feel that that the time is I don't want to say it's warped, but it just seems like either we're just like behind or either it's just not, I don't know. It just seems like things are a little bit out of sync. And Derek C. Williams says, quote, deep learning and quote, one step closer to singularity. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. And I hope you guys are doing well. So let me just go ahead and begin with my story before the story. You remember just a few streams ago, it was a night stream that we were doing in which we actually we talked about Sophia at length, and I even shared a video, and I talked about how she seems to cadence. And when I mean cadence, I mean it's a musical term, but I think it's used in other ways too. But she seems to cadence quite a bit. She seems to cadence she ends her thoughts, or she'll end, some idea with this scowl. And that's kind of the purpose of this next story that I'm going to share with you, because I don't want to say I woke up to this face on my screen, but I was just thinking, wow, this seems to be a bit of a response, because I'm just thinking, I'm not saying, I'm just saying that it was a nasty little scowl that she does. And I equated it to what I do is what I call, I have a wasabi face that I make when I play my instrument. And, but this is, I think it's it's a little bit more vicious and a little bit more sinister. The face that she was actually making. So I want to take you, to that story first. So first, let me take you to what I consider to be a response to, I don't know whether the AI is already maybe working in tandem with her prototype. I don't know. Maybe it's far-fetched. I don't know. Take it for a grain of salt if you want. But I'm going to share this with you really quickly. So once again, I want to thank everybody so much for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I'm going to share with you what I consider the most infamous scowls that I've experienced so far. So here we are. Okay, how's that killing you? So I kind of woke up to, or I kind of opened up to this after talking about some of her facial expressions. And this is what this is what was revealed. And this is from this is actually, there's an article from the Business Insider. And it shows, of course, it's from Hanson Robotics. And of course, we've talked about the plan to roll out these mass-produced humanoids, with Sophia being the number one prototype. So I don't know, what do you guys think about this face? You can give me a 1 for, you give me 1 for me being the crazy maker, or give me 2 for other. Give me a 2 for other. Yeah, let me say hello. So yeah, you guys can see the face that's on the screen right now. And hello to you, Stupid Foo. Thank you so much. And it looks like you're laughing there. I don't need AI to recognize a laughing face. It looks like you're laughing. Thank you so much for coming in. So yeah, so that what you have before you I thought was pretty amazing. It was that this showed up in the next day. Okay, so according to this, let's just get going here. Then, well, let me give you the real ticker here. So I had this face, I had this story to pop up with this face, and it was followed by, quote, "Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you," end quote. Sophia said in 2017. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? And I'm not trying to say, I'm just thinking that that's pretty remarkable that this response that I would receive, that I would get this article with a quote from her in 2017 saying, "Oh, well, not to worry. I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me." So I just thought that was a little bit, I don't know if I could say weird or bizarre, uncanny, or eerie. I don't know. I could probably throw a few more in there, but whoa, Derek C. Williams says it knows. Is that for me, Derek C. Williams? Is that for me? And let me read your comment prior to that. Says Derek says robotics is working on AI that is sexually based. It knows your sexual triggers, stoking them, remembers your name. It warns you to, oh my gosh, touch even has change of voice to. Oh my God. Wow, Derek. That's pretty heavy stuff. Now at your private your novelty store, right? All right, I'm going to keep going here. So yes, this was I'm not going to go through this entire article here, but this we talked about her developments, but I do have another story for you. It looks like her legs are in the she's gotten legs, so we have Sophia with legs now. So they're getting Sophia ready to they're mobilizing Sophia so she can be independent in a store near you, or she can help you. I don't know. She can do physical therapy with you in order to keep people safe. We need Sophia. We need. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment. So I'm going to share another video with you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Angela Reed says, so creepy. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that I would get that would pop up, conveniently pop up after I said something about the scour that she does. And she does do a scour. I mean, I feel like I'm being, are they trying to console fear that this robot is sterile and she has she has little or no feelings, or she's too cold and too harsh. And whoops, hang on just one second. I'm dealing with a feature here, a new feature here, so I'm trying to get it right. So I'm going to share this video with you on Sophia. Looks like she's got legs these days, and I want to show you that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment.
Sophia's legs were custom built at the Rainbow Robotics Lab at the University of Las Vegas. They were based off of the legs of Jamie Hubo, an earlier version of the famous disaster relief robot, DRC Hubo. Jamie Hubo and Sophia's legs are similar to DRC Hubo's, but they are both smaller and more focused on social interaction. Sophia powers her legs with 12 48-volt motors using battery packs on her legs and back. To control them, Sophia uses a custom version of the POTO software used by DRC Hubo. With her state-of-the-art sensors, she can look ahead for disturbances, calculate her balance and trajectory, then make adjustments so that she doesn't topple over. Humans do all of this without thinking, but for a robot, this is a really big deal. Right, Sophia?
That's right. Thank you, Zach. I couldn't have said it better myself.
No way. No way. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. But yes, so I don't know how are you guys thinking about Sophia being mobilized and getting around with ease. I'm also wondering if this project, if I'm not sure what type of, I'm not sure how the progression is or how the prototype is being loaded for this robot, but I'm wondering, is there a chance that these humanoid robots are going to become less tolerant of us human beings? And what does that mean? Um, yeah, like the definition of it's like they're going to change the definition of what it means to be human, and does that also does that put human beings at risk? And so are you guys hearing me at all? I'm sorry, I was on mute. So what I was saying was, let's see, what did you guys hear? I don't know, I'm not sure what you heard, but what I was saying is that Sophia seems to be, I don't know what her intelligence is being based on right now, but I'm wondering if at some point will her intelligence evolve, and will she develop, is she going to be loaded with the intelligence that makes her less tolerable of human beings? I know that the health industry is going to receive their own, I guess, allotment of robots. And I know the retail sector is going to receive an allotment of robots. I think the airline industry is going to receive an allotment of robots. And I think that kind of puts, mankind or humankind in danger if we're going to be competing um, with something on this level. And even at an emotional, from an emotional, standpoint, I think it's more than it's bizarre and it's dangerous. But but as I said the other day, I said I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people that are actually they're going to want some type of connection with this machine, and I think there'll be you know I would imagine that a Sophia prototype or whatever is even going to be trained to anticipate. I don't know how that works. I have no idea how this intelligence is going to work, but I don't know. Maybe she'll be showing up at your guys' next physical therapy appointment, um, taking care of the elderly. I mean, who knows? I mean, we kind of talked about this once before in terms of, what's the penalty for not going to bed when she says go to bed if you're in a facility, or if who knows? I'm not saying that she's being preloaded with violent tendencies, but I even showed you a commercial from the CES in which they had a robot, a personal assistant robot, a robot that does the dishes. Of course, they informed you that if you spilled anything, you were going to be there. That robot's going to judge you. You're going to get some type of judgment when you do spill something, and that robot has to clean it up, or it's programmed to clean it up. So I can't imagine that Sophia would not be loaded with some of those same sentiments and that same kind of nuance. Who knows? But what I will do is I'll probably open this up just a little bit, because we've done quite a bit on Sophia, but this is not the end. It's not the end. And if you guys have seen, if you guys can always email me if you have a story, or even if there's a humanoid or robot sighting in your area, please let us know. Please let us know. I appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link out here for just a bit, and pick it up if you like. Pick up the line if you like. And yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to read a few comments here, as I haven't heard. I've seen your guys' comments, but not so much. I haven't really had anyone come on or chime in on this specific prototype, or even the one that I showed that does the chores. All right, Derek C. Williams says, but people want to, quote, evolve, end quote, into this madness. Proof: look into the small country of Estonia, the world's first smart city. See, that's another part of, I think, another part of the fourth industrial revolution. They are creating the smart cities, are what they want to develop. And I think it's probably going to be the larger cities are going to be the targets. I think, I'm not sure. I don't want to speak about it and not know, but I know that we did follow an actual economic forum, not the World Economic Forum, but just, it was a Bloomberg economic forum that talked about smart cities, and they had mayors present that that spoke about what their needs were, what their desires were for their own cities. So I do believe these smart cities are a reality, are going to be a reality. And Rachel says, I hate robots. Things in masks have always freaked me out too since I was a kid. And Leaf Desi says, terrifying elderly is what we'll need the help with, but to think of how enslaved humans will be by AI is pretty terrifying, especially the elderly. My heart breaks for the elderly as is. You guys have really great comments. We have Old Head says, robots don't like me already. Let the truth be told says, Anarchy Television. I was talking about that a while back. Anarchy, are you here? I'm sure you came in at some point, but I think I missed it. You guys should check out. We've got quite a few content creators here. Even though it's not a growth stream, I always, try to encourage you guys to, get to know each other. And looks like I have a hello. Derek C. Williams, how are you?
Yeah. Shout out and respect due to Black Spring with Autumn Intelligence done right. How you, young lady?
Derek, I'm hanging around.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, still chilling. Like I said, I'm glad I'm on your team. You smart as shit, man. I know you don't like the curse, and I apologize for that, but you smart, man. I just try to run with folks that know more than I.
Well, Derek, I always tell you I'm a work in progress, and I'm a collection of experiences.
Yeah.
True story.
Well, bless all those experiences. Yeah. I was just gonna say real quick, there I saw a few years back. I guess this is in Scandinavia. It's a country over there called Estonia. I've heard of it. I don't know the capital, but essentially you having people over there, they are chipping themselves. They actually uploading themselves to the cloud. You can look into this stuff for yourself. They're actually chipping themselves. In Wisconsin, in Wisconsin, there is a small town in Wisconsin, and it's a chain of I think a chain of stores called Three Square. Actually did a video. I actually did a video on them, but Three Square Market, they actually had a chip party. The CEO from CNBC was actually talking about he was actually talking about the virtues of being chipped. They can do all this here. They can get snacks. They can do this. They can open doors. They can do that. They can get their check. Everything is right here, and the little chip is no smaller than a grain of rice. And the last point is, I understand. I guess with the St. Ives 19, I guess a lot of construction has stopped. But you may be interested to know that they have over in the Saudi Arabian desert, Israel. So this right here lets you know that it really ain't no Jew-Muslim fight. The state of Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United States, Great Britain, I think Australia, and a few other countries, they're getting together to build what's called NEOM. NEOM is supposed to be a 33 wide. No, sir, it's supposed to be 33 times bigger than New York City or something like that. Some old crazy astronomical thing that they're building over there. And it's supposed to be the first artificially intelligent, the first AI powered city.
Wow.
It's called NEO. It is NOM. Yeah, N-O-E-M, neon. And so from what I understand, they was supposed to be building this thing. It's supposed to be over in Saudi Arabia. In other words, a long story short, think of it as Elysium on planet Earth. If you ever saw the movie Elysium, you know Matt Damon, he was just a pro, and they had everything up in this floating city. And if you broke your bone, you cut your arm open, you could get up under this laser and they'll make it like new. I mean, it grow you new skin and all that. Well, this thing on this planet, on this thing here called Neon, look into it for yourself. It's called, and matter of fact, they got a website. Yeah, try neon.org or neon.com, something like that. N-O-E-M. And it's supposed to be at least 30 times bigger than New York City. They're supposed to be everything artificial, supposed to be solar powered, artificial intelligent powered. It's supposed to be a dome, and from where it's situated, they said it takes you right to Europe. You have a straight shot back over here to North America. Of course, you got Asia and you got the Middle East from where it's situated at. And so they got all this stuff on the table. Now, again, because the St. Ives 19 didn't popped off, I don't know if they stopped building, slow building, or whatever. But they got a website. I saw it for myself. They are building this thing. So they're trying to make essentially like an Elysium on the planet Earth. So with all these people dying from St. Ives 19, and you know, with the GMO things, you know, and the jab gonna, you know, let Bill Gates tell it it's supposed to be 500,000 to 700,000 dead. I can see them trying to marshal resources into one little place just for the elite. I can see something like that. And you know, I always say on my channel, I am a conspiracy theorist, and a conspiracy theorist is just a person. It's just a person who question known liars. My government is a liar. So you know, yeah, that's all a conspiracy theorist is. So look into these things for yourself. If you find me to be in error on anything, you know, you can always reach me on email or put it on video, however you want to do it. But this stuff scares me because I got a 16-year-old daughter. They trying to upload my daughter. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. And then on top of that, like I said again, in Estonia, you got a little kid. My daughter's 16. They actually taking a chip over there. I don't want that for my child. Man, I'm scared to death. I'm scared. I'm scared out of my mind from that stuff. But this dude named Ray Kurzweil, he all for it. You know, last year Elon Musk had that thing called Neuralink. The Lockhart Perspective did that thing where they was shooting these plugs in this pig's head and controlling them. No, not me. No. I am a flesh and bone. And when my time, I'm 53, when my time passed, that's it. I don't want to be uploaded. I don't want to be upgraded. And like I said, I've been in here doing my exercises now. That's my upgrade. That's all I see.
Well, Derek, I certainly, I think your concern is more than warranted, and I think, I mean, I don't have a daughter at the moment or any children at the moment, but I can see the concern for parents. I mean, you know, I think this generation, they're going to inherit something much different than it's going to be. I think the word different is not even it's not even close. You know, what they may inherit, but I don't know. I'm not sure what we can do. That's the part that's even more disturbing, to slow this. I mean, because with all the things that have happened, at times I wonder, well, are we delaying the inevitable? You know what I mean? Are we keeping it at bay with you know, with the leadership, if you will, or with the with whatever government that, you know, that's elected, or as I've heard you say, selected, however.
Well, for all the so-called woke folks out there, if you claim you woke and all this old nonsense, you got to be scared for the child being born right now. You got to be scared. You got to be afraid for them. You know, and I think what it is, we're gonna see more submission. We're gonna see much more submission in the you know, in the years ahead, as opposed to folks fighting back. You know, they always say that the people who fought in World War II, or that they refer to that as the greatest generation. I was born in 1967, so they classify me as Generation X and all that. And I think like just me personally, I'm looking at my daughter, them millennials and all that. They just ain't got what it take, man. Because you know I'm 50, like I said, I'm 53. We about to get out of here, and these young kids, because they're so politically correct and things like that, they stuff like it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. And so if you call yourself woke, you got to be scared for a child being born right now. They don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance.
Well, I can say I agree. I mean, what can I say for the lack of a better word? What is it they say that they're just cut from a different cloth? I mean, for one, you know, you could say that they're cut from a different cloth, and then I don't know. I think we've conceded so much that we really don't have that. It's just
Bingo.
hard to turn. It's hard to turn back, turn anything back at this point. So, but I really appreciate you for sharing that. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I got to tell you. I mean, I look to you for many things because I think I'm behind the ball a little bit when it comes to some of this AI and some of the advancements. I mean, I think I just discovered the Neuralink with Musk like recently,
Yeah.
but I'm not. But I think some people have been they followed this kind of technology for some time, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I don't even know what's possible. I'm not sure if do we have people already in this country that have already that may be living with a device or a chip, if you will.
Yeah. Well, real quick, then I'll drop back down. One of the first times I saw actually was a black man. He was it's this security company in Texas, and he just ran his hand. He ran his hand by a door. That was the first one I ever saw. This was like maybe late 90s, early 2000. And he just did like that. About six, good looking black man, like maybe 6'1", 6'2", and he just ran his hand up across a door, and that shit, I'm sorry, and that stuff just opened right up like nothing. So, like, no, I'm not taking no upgrade, not doing it. So I just want to thank you for having me on. And like I said, look into Neon, look into Estonia. Like I said, the little teenagers over there chipping, they want to be chipped. So just thank you for having me on, and you take care of yourself, all right?
I appreciate it anytime, Derek. And thank you so much for coming on. And yes, anytime.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
All right, you take care of yourself then. All right. Salute.
Thanks. Everyone, that was Derek C. Williams. He's a fantastic content creator, and he is a fantastic Stripe and supporter of the channel, patron of the channel. And I encourage you guys to always get to know your friends in the chat. And who knows, you might find a kindred spirit there, and you can go over and check out their content. I'm sure you won't be at this point you won't be disappointed, because we all have something to share. And in these times, I think it makes a huge difference. So thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. So yes, I certainly, for Derek, I will be looking into those two examples. The Elysium, you said, we'll look into is that a movie, or is that something that I guess the inspiration for one of these powered cities? But I'm certainly going to look into it. But yeah, I think the digitization is certainly, I think those efforts are going to ramp up, and who knows what that means. And I'm going to go through a few more comments in here, and I'll probably wrap us up. I want to read a comment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Leaf Desi says smart cities coming to Nevada too. The stand was warning us. Rachel says, I've heard things about this city. I know I'm behind here, but I still wanted to read it. She says there's a list of who signed up for smart cities. They have a website. Oh, that's interesting, Rachel. I'd love to see that. And Leaf Desi says, I feel you, Derek, praying for our babies worldwide. And Rachel says, these kids, I'm scared for them. Yes, very much. And let's see, I'm going to keep going here. So that's it. Let the truth be told. Thank you so much for coming in. Now, I've heard about the Soylent Green, but I have not. I'm going to write. I guess I'll take it down right now so that I'll know, so that I could actually plug it in and not misspell it and get misled in the rabbit hole. So yeah, I mean, I tell you, like I said, I think I'm behind on some of this. I have picked my prototype, and I've been just kind of going with her, but it seems like there's a lot more out there. Of course there is, and I really appreciate it. And the Game Ain't Fair says, I had the video up here of the scientist who confessed and created the chip. YouTube deleted it before I downloaded. I swore he didn't know what the government was asking him to create. Thank you for sharing that. And Let the Truth Be Told says Elysium with Matt Damon is the movie. And Derek C. Williams says Elysium was a movie that dropped a few years back. So I should be able to find that. Grab that movie. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to play a couple of, I did mention the Twitch Drive campaign. So I don't know. I know, like I said, I know it's cumbersome to ask people to come from one familiar platform to another, but I'm just saying, it's a secondary base, and that's why I've created it. So, you'll be able to find me wherever I am. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for supporting. So we're going to do a couple of thanks to our loyal patrons and subscribers. And in fact, that brings me to another point that I'll get to when I come back. All right, guys, I'll be right back right after this. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much. Oh, thanks so much, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate that. I will be taking the link from the stream for the city. And I want to give a shout out to the Lockhart perspective from earlier. There's something that she tapped into earlier in terms of some of this environmental, what I consider this environmental buzz, and eat less meat and da 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 da. So I'm going to be doing a live stream on something that's related to Gaia, the Gaia Mother Earth. It's that's going to be the subject. It's a secular pagan religion, and I do believe that there's a paradigm there that's I think many of these efforts and these campaigns are feeding into that initiative as well. So things are getting a little bit creepy, I think, just for the average person. I mean, you got to know it's not the norm by any stretch. So I'm going to run a couple more infomercials. These are infomercials, and I want to thank our current Twitch members, and we'll be right back after a couple of infomercials. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And as I said, I want to encourage everyone, not just the followers over on Twitch, to consider, not Twitch, I'm jumping the gun. I want to encourage everybody on the platform to consider Twitch, and not just those that are followers or subscribers over on Periscope, because I think that there are things that are coming down the line that might, squash us around here. And so let me know how your Twitch drive is. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream in the comment section, a Moonlight stream. And of course, we have our trusty tests that come up, that tend to come up during the week. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. I just want to give a final greeting and thank you to everybody in the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And Steve Willis, thank you so much for coming in. And of course, Derek C. Williams, thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring and all that you do. Thank you so much for your support. And Rachel Van Zyl, thank you so much. And I want to thank you guys, all my stripes that are in the stream, for keeping things friendly around here. Thank you so much for all that you do to support. Leaf Desi, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for sharing your thoughts and your concerns. And even you guys educate me around here. I appreciate that so much. And I think we have very healthy exchanges and conversations on this channel. I really do. I really appreciate it. I think they're very rich. And I think there's a good balance on the channel. And because I've never been a fan of the echo chamber, and it's nice to have a diverse chat and stream and perspectives. And let the truth be told. Thank you so much for coming in, and thanks so much for all you do to support the channel. You Stupid Foo, thank you so much for coming in. And See, we have Rachel Van Ziel, Angela Reed. Thank you so much for coming in. And if you guys ever want to send me anything, just go over to Blackspring blackspringwithautumn@gmail.com. I'm getting ahead of myself today. So it's blackspringwithautumn@gmail. And I will go, even if I'm delayed, it doesn't mean that I'm not looking at at what you've submitted. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. I really appreciate it. And the game ain't fair. Thank you so much for coming in. And yes, if you haven't had a chance to hit that like button or subscribe button, please make sure you're still subscribed. I think that's the minimal thing around here. Just make sure you're still subscribed. And if you haven't had a chance to hit the like or unlike button or even share the stream, that you can do that in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and bail out of here on this Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream in the comments section or on a video. So you guys have a great day. And what can I say? Keep your eyes open and let us know if you spot a humanoid. Absolutely let us know. All right, guys. Have a great Wednesday.